Welcome everyone for day 2 of Neuroemergence 2022. So, Tjerk, off to you. I know you have a list of things that you'd want to share for today.
Excellent, wonderful, and thank you, Lana, for giving me the word. Today is our second day of the Neuroemergence Online Summit, and we're going to have another day of wonderful programs. We're going to start off, well, actually, we just started off right now, and this will be until 11 o'clock. Then from 11 till 12, there will be a learning lab by Saskia Weniger, our trusted friend and wise person, about the importance of niche construction, which she will do together with Lana. Then we have free time, which is a strange word for inviting you all to join the presentation room, to figure out the game room, the calm room, or any of the other rooms where you can do many interesting things. For example, in the game room, you can play games with people. And in the presentation room, we have asked many wonderful individuals to make a presentation specifically for this event or for Neurodiversity Pride Day as a whole. And because there's a lot of time difference between Australia, America, Africa, the Netherlands, and so on, we've decided to pre-record some of the, well, some very interesting presentations to share with you also for the days after. There's English presentations there, but also Dutch ones. And today is Dutch Day, so I'll be sharing a little bit about the 4 Dutch presentations that are there. First, we have Susanne Achterberg, our ambassador, who's showing about the power of being different. We have always been wanting to amplify her voice and her appreciation for differentness and authenticity. And I really recommend that you watch her presentation. And it's in Dutch, so if you are learning in Dutch, then this is a good first moment to try. Yes. The second one is from Feitsma, our PhD and researcher from the Design Your Life program. He has a lot of experience and he has many interesting things to share. Then we also have Nanda Rommelsen, who is a clinical child neurologist who is presenting on behalf of the Karakter and the Radboud University. The fourth one is a short presentation by Mike Klein, a student who wanted to create a presentation specifically for one of the lesser known neurodivergencies called NLD, and wanting to create awareness and shine her light with this. So these are the 4 Dutch presentations, and for the English ones, I recommend that you go there and find out yourself. After the free time, where you can march to any of these places or have discussions with other people, because the presentation room had the idea that you first watch a video and then you sit next to one of the conversations tables and talk to each other about it, because it's interesting to share each other's viewpoint and knowledge. From 2:30 to 4 o'clock, there will be a panel session called Designing Neurodivergent Friendly Spaces. And it will be moderated by the delightful Alex Brooks and Lana Jelenjev. The guest panelists of today will be Stefan Emmanuel, thankful to have him here with us, Barb Cook, and Jean Huet. After our panel session, we have been, working hard and stretching our brain into understanding a lot of new things. So we're going to have an informal meet and greet, and this will be done at the meet and greet room. You can dance there. Don't worry, you don't have to. You can talk there with people. Don't worry, you don't have to. But it's going to be fun there. And I think it was one of the most fun places yesterday during the first day of the event. Well, then it is time to nourish yourself and to eat, because this is important. Watching you autistics, you eat today? And then at 7 o'clock, we have a sharing circle with the wonderful Martin Bloom, who's also a little bit famous for making the worldwide dyslexia map, which is so comprehensive that it made my autistic brain just my jaw drop with admiration and enthusiasm for his thoroughness. But there will be a sharing circle about the conditions for safer and brave spaces in the workplace. It will be facilitated by the lovely Lana, and it will be again with Martin Bloomfield. Wow. Can I share a little bit more, Lana?
Yes, of course, sure.
Wonderful. This Neuroemergence online conference is a project of its own, but it's also part of the Neurodiversity Pride Day celebrations. And now that we have a little bit of time, I'm going to share a little bit about the other wonderful things that are happening as well. Obviously, Neuroemergence is open until 8 o'clock tonight, and for those who want to stay in the meet and greet room even later. And tomorrow there's an event as well up till 4 o'clock in CET time. Next to that is the very first world's attempt to try out a new record. We call it Stride, and it's the idea that any neurodivergent can move forward in the way that they choose to, and every meter walked, biked, boated, moonwalked, or skipped will be added to a grand total where we're aiming to collectively, as neurodivergent kind, to go around the moon this year. As a neurodivergent family in a way. So persons can walk, they can run, they can whatever they like to do on Pride Day. And this is then all added to a total, and we're hoping to achieve 11,000 kilometers this year. There's an app for that in Android and iOS. It's free, and you're absolutely welcome to join in. Next to that, there is a virtual reality event, which is starting at 4 today, which is a little bit more for the creative youth among us. But elder people are also very welcome to join in. It is with VR goggles and without VR goggles, simply on a desktop. And there will be a large program there with multiple young speakers and creative sessions, where they're also going to try to aim to create a new flag for the neurodiversity movement, neurodiversity community. Since there have been so many different variations in the last 5 years, that they want to create a new version that could be the possible standard for all. Exciting. There's also tomorrow a lot of ND networks going on in different companies where they're having a corporate lunch or a lecture or a team meetup where they're basically supporting the neurodivergent workers in their organization or company or team or group. And we welcome that fully. And we welcome that mainly fully because it's neurodivergents finding each other, making a group, forming a circle, and then standing together from that moment on in solidarity. And I think that's what we really need as neurodivergents. It's like what Judy Singer said in the keynote of last year, we neurominorities, we need to stick together. Also, there is U-Time, another virtual experience with our Neurodiversity Pride Anthem own kind. It has been produced last year. There have been people dancing to it in the virtual world, so to say, and you can still visit it by joining u.neurodiversityprideday.com. Yes, there's more. We also have the second edition of the Neurodivergent Art Expo. Last year, we had a lot of poets. This year, we're having young autistic artists. That's what it is. Their work is really great, and we wanted to give them a platform to show proudly their works. So there are 12 artists being shown in the Neurodivergent Art Expo. And you're welcome to watch it even before the event happens if you go to art.neurodiversityprideday.com. And the last part is we have been setting up this day as an international and global day, and this is our aim. And I am happy to inform you that there's many groups in the world that are organizing their own Neurodiversity Pride Day celebration events in America, in Australia, in the UK, and in many other places. And this is what we hope to see for the world, that neurodivergents find ways to celebrate their own day in their own way. And we will keep on organizing wonderful events like Neuroemergence, but it's not about us organizing events. It's about the idea that neurodivergents can stand up for themselves and celebrate themselves or people like themselves. This is our time and this is our day. So I'm happy to share some of the parts because there's many more I could talk about. But I would love to first give the word back to the lovely Lana after having said the program of the day and some of the items that we're going to do tomorrow in Neurodiversity Pride Day.
Thank you, Tjerk. And Tjerk, if you can add all those links to what is going on, please, please do. So just to give a bit of a history, when did we start Friday? Now I'm thinking about it, 5 years.
2018.
Yeah. So when we started, it was really with the idea of having a day to celebrate. And I know for that conversation, Jerk, we already was like, who do we want to invite? Who do we want to have during these celebrations? And I remember I really mentioned one specific name, Dr. Thomas Armstrong. So he's an author of a lot of books on neurodiversity, and his book, The Power of Neurodiversity, was also very instrumental for me in terms of shifting the way that I view neurodiversity. And we've been circling, from 2018 to now, we've been circling of how can we get Dr. Armstrong to contribute. And it was just like, again, with the theme of courage, it was just with the leap of faith that I was just like, maybe I'll just message him in LinkedIn and see how that would go. And then I did, and it was just a few weeks before our session, our gathering, and he said yes. And we're very excited that for today we will be premiering his talk, his on niche construction, niche creation, from himself. We will be having a learning lab around this, but it will be great for you to hear it from him, from his words, from his sentiments around it. And we will be premiering it in the Gather Universe, in our Gather space, in the presentation room, later in the afternoon. Well, afternoon CEST. So for those who are interested to hear about more on niche construction, niche creation, take it from Dr. Armstrong himself. Uh, and when he said yes, I still couldn't believe it, and I was still having, every time I've had exchanges with him, it was just such a big lift. And this is what I would say Neurodiversity Pride Day is all about: is for us to open conversations, for us to open connections, for us to yeah, really see and meet each other, and get to know and share our lived experiences with each other. One of the things that I've also emphasized on, in terms of why we've chosen for this specific day the sub theme of cultivating spaces for belonging, is because of that. When we were thinking of neuroemergence, we were thinking of a gathering space. We were thinking of different pockets of places where we can have conversations, where we can support getting to know each other, where we can start forming networks. And these spaces are spaces of belonging that we would want for each one of us, neurodivergent, neurotypical. I like what Lyric mentioned yesterday in the keynote speech about, well, it's there really people that are neurotypical? If the more that we think about it, we're all divergent in different ways. And I love that we are emphasizing the spaces that we need to cultivate that we can have the spaces that would create this sense of belonging, the sense of being seen, this sense of being acknowledged. And we're very grateful for everyone, each and every one of you who have joined us for today, in exploring this cultivating spaces as a theme, as an exploration, and hopefully as a way of being, as a way of life for all of us. And before, because we still have 15 minutes before our learning lab, we would like to encourage everyone to, yeah, for those who are comfortable, to share what brought you here, what brought you here in this space, and what are you hoping to come out of it. Like, what are your expectations, or what are you hoping to get from joining us for today. And I'm gonna,
Wait. And I will say one last practical thing before we move to the question of Lana.
yes.
Some of you are here yesterday, and some of you are not, and some of you are on YouTube as well. So if you missed the keynote presentation of yesterday, only for the Neuroemergence participants, you can see it before it gets released on Neurodiversity Pride Day itself. How it happens is we've secretly hidden a projector in the keynote room on the stage. And if you go there, you can press the X, and by pressing the X, you can see the keynote. Don't share it because it's still secret until tomorrow. But this could be a way for you to see the keynote of one of my biggest heroes, and a person that we're truly honored to have speak here at our event for this class. Lana, can you repeat the question, please? And then we go to the sharing round.
Yeah, so welcome to being in this space. Yeah, again, cultivating space for belonging is our theme. So it will be great for us to get to know each other and also have an idea of what brought you here, what brought you to this space, to this topic, to this theme, and perhaps what are you wishing to get out of it. I see familiar faces. Hi, Uta, Nati, and Renz. Renz has been here since yesterday. And Mark as well. So who would like to who would like to share?
I can share.
Go, Nati.
So thanks, Lana, for inviting me. That's why I'm here, because Lana was like, hey, I think you'll be interested in this event. Come and join us. So thanks a lot. And I couldn't join yesterday, so I'm glad that there's some recordings that I can look through. I'm going to do that later on. And I think what interested me and what I would like to get is just to hear a little bit more about how do we cultivate those spaces for everyone, for all the diversities that we have, and for people to feel good and welcome, especially around the workplace, because that's my focus of work. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Nati. Yeah, especially when in the line of work that you're doing, wherein you're involved with people, facilitating and being with people. So thank you for being here. So from Beverly, she said that this is the first time I've been here, so I just want to learn. And from Ray, I'm here because I'm a lifelong learner with a passion to make a difference in equity, diversity, and inclusion in my workplace and in my life generally. Thank you for that. And I know this is also one of the reasons why we want these conversations in the first place, to really have neurodiversity in the mainstream. So it's not just something that we talk about in small spaces that we're part of, but really how can we make this as a part of families, schools, workplaces, organization. Saskia, would you want to share some of your thoughts around this theme of cultivating spaces?
Ooh, wow. I don't know. I find it really hard to say that in a short way because it's such a huge topic for me. Like it can be referring to so many things, like just the small conversation space that we have with each other here right now, or the wider conversation spaces that we are, I think, altogether creating on LinkedIn just by posting about neurodiversity and how to make things more neurodiversity friendly. So I never quite know where to start with this topic because it's so huge to me. So I'm really grateful for our upcoming panel. I will sadly not be able to attend it live this afternoon, but I'm really, really looking forward to all the panelists that Alex has brought together and to hear from them about their own angles on this big topic.
Yeah, thank you, Saskia. One of the things that we would like to emphasize on for the panel discussion later on is really about how we can design neurodiversity friendly spaces in the workplace. Though that I know that the elements that will be shared in the conversations are things that we can also universally apply within relationships, within the context of family and schools. Yeah, so there's some tweakings that we can do, but I'm very confident that what we would get, to touch on would be what are the principles, or what are the, pathways that we can do so that we can design neurodiversity friendly spaces. Just to give a bit more context as well, Saskia and I have been collaborating with Neurodiversity Education Academy, and when we started with neurodiversity friendly schools program, and with the neurodiversity schools program, we've trained some teachers from Asia and in Indonesia within the topic of how can we, yeah, design neurodiversity friendly learning spaces. So if you are interested to know more about it, or also to, yeah, to get into conversations around this topic, feel free to reach out to Saskia or to me, and we do have some resources about the program that we've created, and also some resources in our website, neurodiversityeducationacademy.org. So for those who might be interested, and I know some of this we've referenced yesterday in the brain strengths learning lab, on how we can use our brain strengths. Those are also added in the Neurodiversity Education Academy resource
And
page.
if I can add to that, so there is one more lovely little project, actually two, in the Neurodiversity Education Academy, which is free and fun. We have built an app. It's called Brainy, and it's a brain strength journal. There's a Dutch version and there's an English version. And the idea is that you track, or your journal, which is your most powerful brain state of that moment in time, what helps you, what is your reflection on this. And this way you can create like a diary of how your brain functions best. And we made this for kids, but honestly, it's also for adults, people. It's also for adults.
I
Next
also
to,
recommend all of my adult coaching clients to use it. And I really like it as an addition to the normal strength finder tests that I use as a coach, because there are some strengths highlighted that are not on any of the other strengths finder tests.
There's also a magazine that we're putting out. It is a lovely magazine. We have created a magazine called My Amazing Brain, and now the second edition, My Creative Brain. Currently, the Neuroemergence event is online, and that is simply what it is. But there will come a time where we will meet in the real, in person, in actual physical spaces, and we're going to have coffee or tea there, or water or whatever. And at that moment in time, we will hope to give to all of you the magazines that we're creating now. Yes, again, it is designed for kids, but it's also kind of for the adults.
There you go. It's still loading because it's a bit big of a file, but I'll just place it in the chat. So wait for it to, for those who want to check it out. So we've been doing different projects, different work, and one of the things that we're also in the pipeline for Saskia and I is developing the strengths cards, the brain strengths cards. So we've identified 20 different brain strengths, and that's also, Tjerk, if you can share the app, the link for the apps for them to download if they want to.
Yes,
And
I
this
will
is
add them in the chat in a moment.
this is what we've been applying for the Brainy app, and we see that it's still not encompassing. There's still some more strengths that we would like to have, and to yeah, create as part of the new language, as part of the new narrative. And this is what neuroemergence is also about. So alongside the conversations that we're having, we'd also want to have this new, this language, this lexicon that we would want to use whenever we're engaging with other people. And the theme or the topic that we will be talking about right now is on niche construction or niche creation, is also a new language, or a new vocabulary. So just a raise of hands, who has heard about niche construction or have read about it? There you go. You have Uta, you have J.A. Shermans, and of course Jerk. So this is something that we would be discussing more. And I know we have 5 minutes to before our official 11 o'clock time. So for those who, who are here to learn more about niche construction, in the chat, can you write down, what are your questions, what are your thoughts around niche construction, or what are the things that you would like to find out? We have only 1 hour, just so to frame it. Those questions, we might most likely not be able to answer all of them, but at least it will be great to have a field of, what are your questions or thoughts around this topic of niche construction. So let's put it in the chat. Oh, Tahira, we definitely can talk. If you want to get involved, we were just saying it yesterday. We want people to get involved. So yes, please. This is our
I
email.
already shared the email, Lana.
Perfect.
And also this invitation to collaborate or cooperate with us to make the world a more inclusive place. It's open to all, and anyone of you that would like to join in the fun and join in the works that we're trying to achieve or work on something together. Yes, you are welcome, and yes, you're welcome here.
Okay.
Yes. So how to be inclusive, not us versus them, while being in a comfortable niche. What are good examples? To recognize the power of individuality and celebrate difference to benefit humanity. Ray, if you have the time, please do check out Saskia's presentation yesterday. It was really all about strengths and how can we use our strengths. Any other questions or thoughts?
Since we will be starting the new session very soon, the Learning Lab, perhaps for some, this could be a great moment to quickly go to the toilet or get yourself another cup of coffee. And then with Lana's permission, we'll be starting in 3 minutes.